Welcome to episode 6 of the TTTS show. This is part 2 of episode 6 titled Relationships. If you haven't checked out part 1, feel free to check it out before listening to this part of the episode. The link will be down in the description.
Yeah, next question, I guess. A lot of questions, yeah. How do you balance out how do you think you're gonna balance out your relationship with other parts of your life, like your family, friends, work life, study life, like that? How do you if you are going to be in a relationship in the future, how do you think you're going to balance it out? Let's start with Avian.
Well, right now I have the luxury of not worrying about that. I can devote 100% of my time to friends, family, and my studies.
Yeah.
But if I did have a girlfriend, then I think I don't know, maybe obviously you should devote a good
Yeah.
portion of your time to your significant other because I think a significant other like sort of transcends your best friend, right? It's like, she or
Does
he
it?
is going to be like the person you depend the most on, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I
Avinas?
think as long
Oh,
as long as through communication and being on the same page,
mm,
it should hopefully work itself out.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Avinash?
So in a term of managing relationships, right?
Mm,
So like what I said earlier about relationships, yeah, there is a lot of relationships going on a daily basis. But if let's say you're talking about relationship with your significant other,
mm,
so okay, I'll just break down on like how I view this. I mean, like currently lah. So the only relationship that I have now is friends, families, and some of the animals that come around, eat food, that kind of
Cats.
stuff lah. Yeah, the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only sort of relationship that I have with things and people around me. So the way that I manage it is when I'm with my friends, I am 100%. I give 100% of my energy to my friends. If I'm
Mm,
at home, I'm 100% at home. So if let's say if I'm at home, I normally will reply very late to everyone else,
that's true.
including my friends and yeah.
We agree. We agree.
Agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But if let's say I'm in university, right? In my university, I'm with my friends, and there are days I go like I would say what 3 4 days I did not actually call my mom or my dad or my
Mm,
siblings. Yeah, I mean like sometimes they send me a random text to Instagram and I open my Instagram I'm like, oh yeah, then I'll reply. But like calling, literally I do not when I'm in university, that my family side is once in a while I call and check up how's everyone. But if I know you're okay, I
mm,
believe that you guys are doing okay, then it's totally fine. Unless there's some turmoil going on, then maybe
yeah.
but I know everything is fine.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I would straight away because in a sense that when you're talking about spending time and having relationship with people, I would rather give you 100% of my energy rather than give you like if let's say I have an hour allocated for you.
Mm,
It's more about managing your energy rather than managing your time.
yeah.
So if you're with someone, you should manage your energy well. So if I'm with, let's say I'm with G or something, I make sure I devote 100% of my energy to whatever I'm doing. If let's
Mm,
say I'm with family, 100% of my energy is that it's different from allocating time. You can be allocating time for someone, but it doesn't mean you're giving the same amount of energy. So when you actually send energy, right, it's kind of like sending vibes to someone. So it's in if let's say in Indian household, it's called
yeah.
vibrational energy. So someone
Damn.
can sense your aura and what you're trying to deliver. Whether or I mean, if on a generally, if let's say someone is talking to you, if you want to know they're actually like attentive or listening to you, I'm pretty sure you can guess just based on their body language or how they act to you. Like if let's say at a dinner table, someone's constantly looking up at their phone, which means there's something else going in his mind. There's something that he needs to listen. So he's
Yeah.
not really 100% with you. So that's the thing. So I make sure I manage my energy well. So if I'm with that person particularly, when I'm with you, you get 100% of my energy. But if I'm not with you and I'm doing my work, which means I need to devote my energy to me doing my work. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I divide it. And my mom and my dad, they have that general understanding. But sometimes my mom still calls me, why you never call her for 3 days? I'm like,
Because you're an
busy.
Indian family, yeah.
Yeah, it's not annoying lah. I understand my mom's concern because I studied in boarding school. I'm pretty sure, except for Avian and Yeji, I'm pretty sure you do not know that, right? So
Boarding
in
school.
secondary school, I studied in a boarding school. So in a sense that in boarding school, something that we are taught is the reason why we are brought to a boarding school is for us to be 100% involved with all the school activities.
I agree.
Compared, yeah, Aisha, you were in a boarding school
Yeah,
also,
I was.
right?
I was.
So when you're in a boarding school, I will only go back home once a
Once a
month.
month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like if let's say they're nice. So if let's say there's a
If they.
holiday in that month, but thank God Malaysia has like a lot of public holidays. So of course we at least get that 1 month. You know, the at least 3 days in a month we go back. Sometimes the school holidays it's 1 week and that's heavenly. Middle of the year during the June holidays, yeah,
Raya.
that's like that is like the best 2 weeks at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in a sense that I was always thought that when I am there, I should give 100% of my energy and attention in order for me to deliver the best result that I possibly can. Because like you have to deliver to your stakeholders and all and whatnot. So that is kind of how I was brought up. And in boarding school, it was way tougher, to call my parents because I never had a phone that time. The only time I had a phone was after SPM,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is 18. And then all like 5 years of my life, I'll be in the public, the public telephones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just a boarding school thing.
Yeah, in a boarding
We
school, it's a
still
public
use public
telephone.
telephone.
Yeah, we line up, we put the coin in, we call. Yeah, that's this one. That's kind of what it is one lah. Sometimes I give excuses to my mom. I couldn't find a coin to put in there because I don't know where to find it.
Mm. It was gonna scavenge for coins. That's it. Interesting take. Edwin,
Oh, yeah. So does the question.
how do you
To
balance
balance.
out, yeah, your relationship with your other, like other relationships, family, friends, work, studies?
Um, for my family, I call them like once a month, I guess, if they're lucky.
Mm.
If
Oh,
they,
once a
If you're
month.
lucky.
Once a month?
Once
yeah,
a
once a
month.
month. They're pretty busy, and I'm pretty busy. So
Mm.
if
Thank
I
you for
am
understanding.
available, yeah, so if I'm available to call, they might not be. Like my mom and dad might be in a meeting, so I don't really have to worry about that. For friends, it's kind of difficult
All
because I
right.
don't. Truth be told, I don't really call them often. Like I text them,
Mm.
but I don't really call them. If I call them through Discord, and that's maybe like twice a month
Play
or
games.
thrice a month. Yeah, play games, and mostly it's my time is consumed by studying and the relationship.
That's true.
But it's easier because my girlfriend also takes the same course as me, so it's easier to split
Ah.
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, understood. Yechi, how about you? How do you balance out your relationship with everything else?
I think it just depends on what is priority at the time.
Mm.
Like, for example, like you have homeworks, then obviously priority is your work, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say you're at a family event and priority is family. So it's like, I guess that's how you balance out. It depends on what's on priority at the moment. I agree with a lot of things that Avi said though, like you do give energy like the important
The,
part of like balancing out is the energy and not the time. So like I agree with that.
mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So since we're talking about relationship, right? I would like to hear some relationship stories from you guys, like especially from Edwin and Yeji.
Yeah.
Yeji.
Or like Avian, maybe you had a time where you
Yeah.
really
Oh
liked
yeah, Avian
someone.
definitely has the spiciest.
Yeah. All
Avinash,
right.
Avinash also can.
Avian.
I
Avi.
hope my friends from high school don't find this clip.
Ah,
It's okay. We go with Avian first, right?
Yeah.
Let's hear Avian.
What? Are you saying Avian or?
No, yeah,
Avian.
Avian,
Yeah,
Avian.
Avian.
Yeji.
Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. I've never been with someone with a similar sounding name.
What about like have you liked someone and tried to, or maybe you know a friend's relationship story that you think is funny or interesting or downright horrible?
Uh, I think the relationship stories that I know are either like really kind of messed up or I'm just not looped in to anything because uh, as I'm sure I talked to Yeji quite a bit, so as I'm sure Yeji would know, I'm very I don't know how you would say this in English, but in Indonesian we call it cuek. So I don't really care
Right.
about
Oh,
anything most of the time. So I'm not really aware of any stories that are appropriate at this time
Mm.
How
in
about
this
personal
conversation.
stories?
What?
Like your personal stories, like close calls,
Personal
Your
stories.
dates
Nothing's
and like
interesting,
Or
man.
maybe
I've
like
never dated
dating
anyone,
attempts
so
in
there's
Tokyo.
practically zero personal stories.
What about the dating scene in Tokyo?
Ooh.
Like is there
Okay.
is there anything? Is there a significant difference from how people date in Indo or how people date in Tokyo? Like what are the from like
Yeah,
oh yeah, I
there's
want to talk
definitely
about
a huge
yeah.
difference in the Tokyo dating scene than Indonesia. In Tokyo, it's pretty normal to be super straightforward to girls. Sometimes, even if you're a girl and you like pass by Shibuya or Shinjuku or any of the major city hubs, it's pretty normal to get for a stranger to just come up to you and like ask for a line ID or a number. I know
Oh,
that's
damn.
Oh,
that's looked upon really weirdly in Indonesia and
yeah.
Western countries, but it's pretty normal in Tokyo.
Yeah. Have you tried
Yeah.
dating any girls in Japan?
Ah.
Uh,
Honesty is the best
well,
policy, Avian.
I am on a couple dating apps, so if any of your listeners
Any luck?
on dating apps and they come to Tokyo, you might see my very beautiful face on there. Uh, yeah,
Okay, so
I don't know.
basically
Most of the
you
relationships I have in Tokyo with girls are strictly friendship, so
seek friendship.
don't really have much story to tell there.
Okay, interesting. How about you, Avinash?
Oh, me, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting relationships, right?
Mm. Or maybe you saw
Yeah,
your friend's
yeah.
relationship that's like really stood out to you as
Oh
either
God.
ridiculous or
Any personal
really nice.
relationships?
To be honest, right, most of my friends around me, I'm not sure why. Constantly searching. I really do not know why.
Mm.
It's kind of been my luck for I don't know what the past. When do we start having feelings for people? 13 is it? Yeah, for the past for the past 7 years of my life, right?
Oh,
People around me are constantly searching for relationships and this and that.
yeah.
So there is a lot of weird, funny. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Sometimes,
Tell us,
but
tell us.
The most
uh,
notable one.
yeah, I'm trying to think of something that wouldn't actually hurt anyone here.
Incriminate or hurt it up. Okay, what about the Indian dating scene? I guess you can say that.
Oh,
Or Malaysian dating
you want
scene.
an Indian dating scene, is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
like how is it?
Okay,
How is
so if you want to talk about Indian dating scene, right? This is a okay. So in India, uh, or in some of the families in Malaysia, we do have like two. I would say like two separate groups. One is
yeah.
more of the I'm pretty sure it's normal in any culture lah. So we also have the love marriage side. We also have the
Mm,
arranged marriage. And
mm,
if you want to look at stats, India has the lowest number of divorce rates because they practice they actually practice more arranged marriage
mm,
compared to love marriage. So I mean that's the stats speaking. But if you want
mm.
to see in Malaysia, uh, because in Malaysia, love marriage is becoming more of a common thing, but arranged marriage,
Still a thing.
still a thing, right?
Mm,
And especially in some of those Orthodox families. And then I'm not sure if anyone is aware, but in Indian families, we actually have uh, this caste system.
Yeah.
ah,
Okay, so a caste system,
Karta, right?
yeah, system kasta. So in
Oh,
You
Indian
can't
family,
marry below your caste, right?
yeah, it's something like that.
yeah.
You have to get married to someone from your caste. You cannot get married from someone uh, from another caste. If you get married, that will be like some
Like class
crazy
lah.
turmoil. No, it's not really
Yeah,
class. You might get some crazy, like just imagine
yeah. I
a
think that
girl
happens
getting
among the
married
math
to a
teachers.
guy from a different caste, and the
Ah.
father of this girl go kills her because he can't take it. That's how bad it can get.
Uh,
Oh,
Yeah.
in
that
So
India, or in
in
Malaysia?
India and in
In
Malaysia, we don't
Malaysia,
have
no.
that
okay, okay.
brutality. But
Oh god.
in,
Oh
in
no.
so I'm very grateful to be from kind of an open family. So if I date someone and there is still a possibility for me to get married, it's not going to be a
Mm,
big deal. But if
mm,
let's say if it's in India, if I date someone from a different caste, most probably they run away and get married somewhere else. Because if let's say their families knew,
Oh,
it would be tragedy. No joke.
oh
It
no.
would be horrible. So that is how, but that is how the Indian caste system has kind of shaped this arranged marriage and love marriage thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
arranged marriage also caters to the caste system, because the reason why the caste system was actually, this is a bit of out topic, but I'm just giving you a general idea of what it is. So the
Yeah, yeah.
caste system was actually created in a sense that we as I mean the it's like to maintain kind of an order for society. So a caste doesn't mean a particular level in society. It just means that a caste is supposed to do a particular task in society. So a farmer caste only does farming. So the reason why they want to marry among their caste members is to make sure the farming skill gets passed on from generation to generation.
All right.
So one of the castes that is always regarded as higher, and it's very common in Malaysian textbooks as well. It's called the Brahmin. So Brahmins are people who are in charge of taking care of the temple. So,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
to just give you a general idea, yeah, you remember, right? So
Yeah,
what is that? So, example, right, a farmer which has already done work will always, if they want to enter a temple, they need to be clean before you enter a temple.
yeah.
So in the early ages, you will sort of, a farmer, once you're done work, you just pray from outside the temple. As time go on, and people become greedy for power, this and that, this social separation was kind of created, in a sense that uh there is a lower caste and there is a higher level caste. So that is a human mistake. But in general, the caste system was created to pass down skills.
Mm.
But humans are sometimes, I don't know if I can say, but sometimes they're really dumb. So because of
Okay.
that, there is this kind of separation that was created. So
Mm.
okay, but let's say in Malaysia, right, something that would be very sensitive among Indian families is, let's say, if you're getting married to different races. So that is something, that is another problem.
Mm.
Yeah, we got you, Abby. We got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So that's a
Yeah.
different this one, because I don't mind dating anyone from a different race, religion, or anything. Because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and
Yeah, it's their
I have
destiny.
totally no how to say, I have no qualms against that. But yeah, someone has to convince my mom lah. My dad will be fine because I'm still his son, but my mom will have to be convinced in a different way. So that is, I would say, quite a challenge lah. Because in high school, I almost had a relationship with a Malay girl, but I had to decline. Almost, I had to decline because I was Indian, and if let's say my mom found out, it would be also turmoil.
Understand, understand. I think as Malaysians we have a lot of cases like that.
Yep,
Especially in terms of like religion and race. It's not
yes.
it's not that okay lah to date other religions. I'm so sorry. All right, so Yeji, what about you? Like any relationship stories, or what about tell us about how Koreans date?
Um, I don't like personally. I don't like the Korean dating scene because
Mm.
there's so much pressure. They have anniversaries for everything, like
Like
Oh
11.
100 days,
Yeah,
right?
11-day anniversary, 50-day anniversary, 1 month
wow.
anniversary,
Oh.
Oh
3
my
months, 6 months,
god.
100 days, and it's like, like calm down, like it's like not that big of a deal. And it's like in Korea, relationships is viewed as like like success, like if you have a
Oh.
girlfriend, you're considered like, oh, like wow, you have a girlfriend. So it's like a lot of people here want to be in a relationship.
Mm.
Like a lot of like I think well, I personally think relationships are overrated. Like if you get into it, then you get into it. It's not like you have
Mm.
to get
It's
into
not an
it.
achievement. It's
Mhm.
just
Same page.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
like Avian said, like it's actually pretty common in Korea for not I guess where you are depends on where you are, but it's pretty common for guys to be like, "Can I have your number?"
Yeah, probably in the city centers though, right? In the country, it doesn't know.
Oh.
Yeah, like in the cities, it's like really easy for like guys to be like, "Hey, can I have your number?" and stuff like that. And it's annoying because like even if you say no, they won't take it, and you have to like lie and be like, "Oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend," and then they go.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they'll
So
follow
they
you
really
around. They'll
respect
follow
like
you around for like a
guys.
good few minutes.
yeah, and then yeah, you
Interesting.
basically get asked out pretty often, I guess.
Mm.
And then like there's like the clubbing scene as well, right? Like
Uh,
yeah, like Indonesia, not like I feel like Indonesia's still quite conservative in that part, but like Korea is pretty much like you could ask a girl out at a club, and it's like, yeah,
Okay, it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's. So do you have any like funny stories or maybe interesting stories about like a past relationship or a personal like friends relationships?
Well, I don't want to like expose my friends, so I'll just talk about my experiences because
Uh,
like yeah, their privacy, it's their
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So well, I used to date this guy. He like the thing is like him and I broke up because he has a drinking problem, and I'm not like
Uh,
okay. See, to be fair, he drank like once every week, and actually that's not a lot. But like the thing is like I don't mind my boyfriend's drinking or anything. It's just that he drank till he like blacked out and
All
like
right.
literally like
uh,
get like drunk. And like more than anything, I just like thought that was like not good for his health and stuff like that. And we'd argue about it, but I didn't think it was something we needed to break up about because it was something we could just find middle ground on, right?
Mm.
But then like upon bringing up the issue, he was like, I was like, hey, could you at least like try not to drink that much? He was
Mm.
just like, no, I can't. Like I know I can't stop. And I'm like, oh,
oh,
okay, like what? Then I'll just like stop
Yeah,
caring. And then he was like, oh yeah, but that doesn't work and blah blah blah. So we broke up. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
referring to your, I think like seventh question, he's currently dating my friend.
Oh.
oh,
Yeah, like
Oh no.
my friend actually did it behind my back. It's more like
oh,
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So I gave her like a lot of like openings. Like I was like, dude, if you guys are dating, it's fine. Like I don't care. He's my ex. It's like nothing, right? But then like I had to find out from someone else, and like
Mm.
yeah, it's basically that's what happened to my most recent
Yeah.
relationship.
That's pretty.
It,
Yeah.
it's
And
not.
is your friend okay with his drinking problem?
She drinks with him because they're both
Oh,
in,
what
Oh.
the heck?
yeah, because they're both like
Okay.
at in a different country. Like they're both somewhere else, and I was somewhere else. It was like LDR.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, understand.
Can't
Okay.
beat them, join them.
Yeah.
That's one strategy.
Yeah,
It,
that's one strategy.
it's like I'm good friends with her now. I wouldn't say good friends. Like it took some time apart because this happened like 2 3 years ago. So obviously all the time has healed and stuff. So like her and I were like okay now.
Mm. I think
Mhm.
that's great, I guess.
There's something
Keep
good
up.
there.
What about you, Edwin? What about like your relationship,
Yeah.
like your past?
Oh, Lord. What was the question? A story?
Yeah, just a
any
story.
relationship
Past
stories
relationship.
that you have?
Yeah. Or like a friend's relationship. If you don't incriminate your friends, but just
Or
your
maybe
own
yours?
experience.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm gonna start eating my oatmeal because I'm so hungry.
Go for it.
Knock yourself out.
5.
Um, I have a story, but it's like a while back. I think it was secondary two or something. It's
Mm-hmm.
really back then. I'm not
Mm.
sure if this girl liked me or not.
Who is
I
this? What?
What? Didn't you just come to Raffles in Sec 2?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
just like
I did.
I
I did.
remember you in my class, Edwin, with not a uniform.
Huh?
Oh,
Sorry. Who? I
I
was in
remembered
sec.
you like trying out in our class.
Oh yeah, sec two D, right?
There was like an early week where you weren't in school yet. You were just trying out, and you just randomly walked into class without a uniform, and everyone gave you the look. Okay,
Oh,
anyways, that's a good.
I wasn't trying out. I was already in class, but then they didn't have my size, so I just walked in like
Oh,
that.
oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Edwin with the red square glasses. I still remember.
Oh Lord,
Hell
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
so
Oh.
Oh,
cringy.
for
Nike
the
joint.
listeners'
Yeah, those
information,
were hard.
Edwin, Yeji, and Avian are friends, good friends from high
School.
High school.
school, middle school. Yeah. So Edwin, what are your stories?
So I think she liked me because I'm not sure, but I think she liked me. She texted me quite a lot, and then she kept like I'd say touching. I won't say like sleeping on my shoulder. It's some sec two things.
Oh.
So at one
Yo,
point,
after this, you're gonna tell me who this is because I literally don't. I
yeah,
don't
sure.
know.
Yeah, so, but I was like, I was pretty. Like, I'm still dumb now, but like, I was even dumber back then. so, so
You're
I was just,
my friend.
So I was just like, why are you touching me? Like, why are you texting me? Like, I usually don't have someone who texts me like every day.
Oh
So
no,
I
I
was
got
like a
Edwin
bit,
in love.
so I was a bit weirded out.
Mm.
And then I don't really remember what happened, but I didn't like someone like texting me every day. Like after I reply, I don't like the person to reply instantly to me. Cause like I don't want to reply you, but I don't want to leave you on read at the same time.
Mm.
So at one point, I think she got desperate and like she told me she was about to die or something. I wasn't sure she had like a medical condition.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I'm pretty sure that's what I remembered she said. So I told my mom and my parents about it, right? And then I wasn't the smartest kid. I told my parents about it, and they both looked
Do I
at,
know this person?
huh? Yeah, we all know
Do
this
I know?
person. And then
What a snitch.
and then
What?
my parents were just like, "Don't talk to her, lah. Don't talk to her." And then me being the sec two kid
That's
I
really funny.
was,
She's like, hey, like Edwin, I think I'm about to die. And then Edwin's parents just like, just don't talk to her.
no,
No,
I think she
not
said
worth
something
it.
along the
She
lines of
has
like,
limited time in this world.
yeah, she said something along those lines, and I
Oh
told my
my
parents
god.
about that, and then my parents like, "Don't talk to her," and then me being me, I was like, "Don't text me again." So
Oh Jesus.
yeah, and then from then on, like every year past, it's been kind of, I won't say awkward because I don't really care. But
Mm.
then the next day when I come to class, friends disliked me.
Because he said don't text
Because you
me.
say don't text me.
Yeah, I think they called me mean,
Uh,
but I
Ah,
agree ish. But then again, I was like
that
two,
was
so
it. That's funny. That's funny.
Wait, if I say the name, can you edit it out?
no,
No.
I can silent it out, but it's
It's
gonna
just
like
like
ripples,
beep play. That
Yeah,
was
that's kind of it.
that's
Oh,
There's
funny.
I
more
didn't know this.
details, but
Yeah, dude, can you say the name and just beep it out on post, or is that not possible?
it's possible. But I'm scared to keep saying it again and again, and I have to listen throughout the entire episode, to make
Okay,
sure.
that's gonna be a horrible amount of work for you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll tell you after.
All
All right.
right.
So,
See,
interesting story.
yeah, interesting story. I actually want to ask G this too.
Ask me.
Yeah, what like personal experience do you have?
I have no personal experience, right? Like I'm like Avian, like, I'm single for like for so long. But I'm 21 this year, so I'm single for 21 years. So no
Oh,
relationship experience, so I can talk
No
about
good
the
luck.
way,
fat
you got
ones.
me.
I can't say anything again. I
And
think
no,
yeah,
I don't want to like expose my friends, so I don't want to talk about them,
yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting that we all have kind of. I think it was interesting to hear Yeji and Avian talk about how like the dating styles in Korea and Japan, and Edwin also he is experiencing a dating style in Malaysia, or he experienced a dating style in Indonesia. I think it was really interesting.
Is it about the same? Like, I feel like Indonesia and Malaysia is like similar.
Um,
Yeah,
I'm not.
Tokyo and Seoul is definitely also
We should ask
pretty
Yeah,
Edwin.
similar.
yeah. I actually have a
Edwin?
I actually have a story. It's like you know how Malaysia is separated into two islands, right? East Malaysia and West Malaysia.
Mhm.
So
Now
I
I
think yeah, now yeah,
Really?
so now
High
you
five.
know. So
There's
I
two
live in
islands in
Borneo.
Malaysia.
Yeah, there are two
Oh,
islands in
Oh,
Malaysia.
Peninsula and Borneo, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
live where?
Kalimantan, Kalimantan.
Isn't Borneo in Indonesia?
No, Borneo is
Borneo. It's a
Malaysia.
part.
Malaysia.
It's Malaysian.
Yeah, so I stay in Borneo,
Wasn't Borneo
and
Kalimantan?
yeah, yeah, it is kind of like the different names but same island, something like that. So dating style in Peninsula and East Malaysia and West Malaysia are a little different. I've experienced both. In West Malaysia, there is less of a chance for me to meet someone from the same village as I am. I guess less of a chance for me to date someone who's somewhat related to me. And over in West Malaysia, the dating style is a little conservative because majority Malays, right, in West Malaysia. If in East Malaysia, it's a very small community. It's true. It's a really small community. We are somewhat all. What are you doing? We are somewhat all like related to each other in a way. So it's like yeah, and then since majority is still Malay, but over here it's more you can be more open, I guess. So it's there it's just the way we date in West Malaysia and East Malaysia is just really different. Yeah, it's I don't want to go into details. It just sounds weird. Sounds like Sweet Home Alabama or something like that.
I think where my parents are from, it's also a bit like that. Everyone kind of know each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Not
small
close, but
town.
like they know at least one person from that family. It's
Yeah,
like
that's true. That's true. Like the part of dating your friend's ex is totally normal where I'm from because
oh
there's
yeah, yeah.
no one from here.
Totally
There's no
normal.
one
Where
else.
my friends are from, it's no rules, bro. It's free for all. Date whoever you want.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
From Orlando.
Okay. That was that's funny. Okay, so it's just I have another question. It's a little deep, but how okay, how do you know if you are in love? In love.
Ooh.
Or if you haven't been in love, what do you think are the signs of you falling in love with someone? I see you
Okay.
being disgusted about
Yeah.
it.
See, here's the thing.
cheesy, but okay, let's
I
go.
like okay, I've never been in love. So like okay, I'm not saying I've dated my boyfriends out of like pure like, oh yeah, why not? You know, it's not like that.
Mm,
Sounds like it though.
Like
That sounds like a thing you do, though. I'm sorry, but it kind of is.
okay, fine. Sometimes you have fun. But like anyways, when it comes to like relationships, obviously I do like the guy. Like I don't just date someone I don't like, right? But then
mm,
like I don't think it's love because I like in a way like I love my family, you know. I know what love is. Like I love my friends and it's like love, you know. But I've never felt that way about a person romantically. So that's why like I don't think I've been in love, but I
mm,
did like the people I've dated,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. What about you, Avian?
Yeah,
What do
what
you
about
think?
Avian?
Like, what do you think
Um,
if when you have a future girlfriend? What do you think are the signs
okay.
of you being in love?
I've been in love sounds so new.
If
Yeah.
you,
Sounds so sad.
I don't know if you think about them often and you get happy, but like that also applies like people you like in general. So I'm
Mm,
really not sure how to put it.
yeah, because you
Same
Uh,
with
haven't.
everyone.
Yeah. Okay, Avinash.
Oh God. Hmm. So, how do you know if you're in love, right?
Mm,
I think generally you start acting slightly different around someone that you like.
mm,
yeah,
If you're
that is
talking
true.
about love
That's
in a
usually big.
relationship, right? You would
mm,
notice the way someone acts. It'll drastically change. Like you put in more effort and this and that. But if you're talking, yeah, but if let's say in a general stand, I'm not going to go into love in general. It's just if you're just talking about on a relationship,
mm,
it's you kind of know when you're in love. Basically, you will try a little harder. You might even get gifts, and then you would treat the person extra special. That's
yeah.
that's kind of how it is, to be
But
honest.
isn't that basically already like the fact that you're in a relationship, like despite like not loving the person, you are technically already considering someone them like special, right?
Mm. I think it's a little like general for you guys because especially for Avinash and Avian because they haven't been or maybe Yeji, you haven't been like in love before. So let's ask Edwin.
Oh wait, what did Yeji
But
gonna
I think
say?
you just kind of know. You just kind of know, no? Like if you're in
Yeah,
love, like, you
yeah.
just feel
Yeah, yeah.
different.
Yeah, it's a feeling because
Mm.
what is this? You know, when I wouldn't say how to say. Okay,
You
I have to
found
say it
love.
lah. Yeah, when I was in love, right? Okay, so
Dying inside.
because it's
No,
been a
it's funny
while.
because he's like arguing himself.
Yeah, because I'm actually trying not to say too much.
Don't
But if you guys want to
incriminate
know
yourself.
later, that's not an issue. But yeah, so when I was in love, I like what I said. Generally, in a general, I actually acted very differently because that time was what form two is when 14, right?
40.
14, yeah, 14.
Yeah, in 14. Because the thing is with me, I'm actually very conscious about how I feel, how I act, and all that. So if I act, and that's why I would say that you guys can see my views on particular things are a little drastic and structured in a different way.
Mm.
Because the thing is, with me, it's I always like to uh, think, rediscover, analyze all these things by myself. So based on, like, my experience, I knew that something was at that point, and I liked that person. I knew something was wrong because I was acting way
Wrong.
different. You see, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
just know that.
when I like that person, right? So I have in school I was in the school band, music. I used to play music and an orchestra. So never have I ever went to my practice early
Oh.
because I would come because this is how my schedule is. So my schedule in the evening I will have like class till 4:30 ish 5. I sometimes will go back, eat some instant noodles, and then take a nap, and then suddenly magically wake up at 5:55, and then oh it's good it's 5 minutes to 6. I have practice in 5 minutes. Take my
Mm.
shower, then run to the music room. But then when I will actually go, but I know that she will come to class to study quite early, so
Oh.
I'll be there before her.
Oh,
That's like
me!
one thing lah. So I actually noticed it, like it was like way different. So when I received, like, yeah, I mean, like some of my friends told me that, hey, you've actually changed quite a lot. I was like,
Mm.
really? Then when I went back and I started reflecting, I was like, hey, yeah, there is a lot of things that I've been doing way different. It's sometimes good,
Exactly.
it's sometimes bad. But generally, it love is kind of something that you, because we always say you fall in love, right? That no one actually rises in love. When you fall in love, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you see, you fall in love, something of you has to kind of change or go away.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
when you're falling in love, there's a lot of things that will change.
Mm.
No one actually rises in love, bro. It's
Yeah.
something changes along the way. So that's kind of how it is.
So Abby, if you suddenly come early to class, then I know
We know
like
there's
you
someone.
are
Oh,
someone. All right.
I'm pretty sure there's no one in our class.
That's why he's always late, right?
Oh, that's so true.
All right. So what about Edwin? Like
Uh,
when how do you how do you know if you're in love?
uh, I think once I start compromising things I wouldn't compromise,
Like what?
like in a sense, like spending time with the guys. Like instead of playing with them, I'd rather do
Yes,
something.
yes.
Or instead of like studying like most of the days, I just study like certain parts of the days, and the other remaining time I talk to this person. Or
Mm.
I'd compromise as like I wouldn't like if I had this allowance, I'd usually save it, but instead I'd spend it on someone. I guess that's what I feel of it. So when you
Is
start
it
to compromise for stuff that's you wouldn't typically compromise for.
is that a good thing or a bad thing though?
It's a good thing, I guess. I mean, you still get your goals done even though you compromise. Not as
Mm.
fast, but you'll get it done.
Mm.
That's why I need to
That's-
fall in love. You don't rise in love.
He's back with the fall in love, not fall in love, rise in love. All right. So do you have last question?
Yeah, okay. So you're talking about relationships, and you guys are all in different countries, right? Have you guys ever experienced like a long distance relationship?
Okay, see, I made that face because all my relationships have been long distance relationships.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it's like okay, I have like two exes, right? And then the first one, I was 14 and he was
Uh-huh.
14
Mm.
and he was in Surabaya while I was in Jakarta.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it's like they're both in Indonesia but like different cities. And then like we actually met through it's a long story. We No, see, like I went to a camp in China and I met this guy and he introduced me to his friends and that friend is in Surabaya and that's how technically how we met. And
Mm.
then we talked like online for a while and like stuff and then we finally met in Singapore for the first time.
Oh.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met in Singapore
Wow.
for the first
What a
time.
story.
Yeah, see, it's just complicated. And then we like hung out and blah blah and then we dated long distance for like 3 4 months. And then I broke it off because let's just say I broke it off. Let's just stop there. And then the next relationship, he was the guy who's currently dating my friend. We dated for like 2 months, and um, he was in. Do I have to mention the country? Okay, you know what? Nobody. Like, I hope no one who knows me watches this. But
I'll
like,
promote this as much as I can.
no, he's in Australia, and I was in Jakarta at the time. So then it was kind of hard because of like time zone difference and the fact that he was in university while I was still in high school, like the 2 year difference. And then it was, I guess, like I still think that LDR works because I don't think it's that hard. Like honestly, it's not that hard. Like just talk to each other and like call each other. And I'm the type of person that doesn't need like my partner to be physically there for me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
as in like it's more of like an emotional thing, right? So I don't really care about distances and stuff like that.
Mm.
So you think LDR works?
Yeah,
It works.
Right.
yeah, I think it works.
Okay.
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the
Yeah.
person. But like in my, like as in me who's gonna be in an
Mm.
LDR, I think it's fine.
Mm.
Okay. Um, how about Avi? Avi's like thinking so hard.
Oh no no no.
Yeah,
Yeah, Avi, what do you think about long distance relationships? And
Um,
for you personally, do you think it will work?
I think time
personally,
zone matters a lot too.
pardon?
Mm. Time
Time zone,
zone.
Time
time
zone.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So generally, I feel that if you put in the effort, it will
Mm.
work. It
Yeah,
it comes down to individual. You have to put in the effort for it to work.
Mm.
And like I think like the basic relationship rules like communication, honesty, all of that have it has to be implied. Then for sure it'll actually work. It's not such of a big deal. But in a case that if you cannot develop that sense of trust, that person is dishonest, bad character, not responsible, then it's going to be a problem.
Mm.
And I think personally I've also seen people who can't communicate well.
Yeah.
Their relationships just literally went on crashing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
it works, but you need to establish your, not to say parameter, what is it, you need to establish your limits. You need to know like you need to know how much effort you need to put in. You need to know what
Yeah.
is the other person's need, because at the end of the day we're trying to cater for the other person as well.
Mm.
So
Mm.
if both of your needs are satisfied, then it's fine. Like what you just said, he only has like an emotional need and not a physical need, right? So in a sense that if you can cater for that, a relationship can happen. It's not such a big deal, but
Mm.
you have to put the effort. That is the most important.
So would you go for
Yeah.
a long distance relationship?
See, if it's destined, sorry.
He's just gonna answer that all the time.
no, but like
It's,
here, I like that about the destiny thing. Like, don't you think like you could actually make it happen? Like, write your own destiny instead of letting like destiny write it for you.
okay, so on that's a
Okay,
Bridge the
so
mic.
all right. So that is kind of a different. I would say it's kind of out of the question, but I'll just give you a general thing, all right? So when you talk about destiny, so this destiny belief system, everything is kind of what ties society together.
Mm.
So when you sometimes you lose hope of all whatever going to happen, you try to put the blame on some other higher power. So like what is this? I did bad in the test. Whatever happened happens lah. Just put it on God or something like that, because it's you need a kind of a support system, because that's
Yeah.
why our I would say our society was created in that way. We have certain belief systems and we have certain things. So if it doesn't work, we need to find a way to actually convince our brain that it will work somehow. So it's just kind of a weird coping mechanism. I would actually put it in that way.
I think in Avi's case, when he used that phrase, like if you're destined, like you're gonna meet them eventually, it will happen, right? Because he took it from a Malay phrase. Like Malay people, they believe in what's that called? Soulmates, kan?
Yes,
Yeah, they
soulmates.
believe
So,
in jodoh, soulmates. So that's why that phrase came. Like you always have a soulmate out there. If he is truly your soulmate, he's going to enter your life again. So he's basing it off that.
Yeah, it's some yeah. That's kind of how the
Mm.
reference actually came up. Yeah, because there's this saying, what the marriages are made in heaven, yet people make a hell out of themselves. Yeah, that's another thing,
Yeah.
if you want to think about it.
Okay. So, Edwin.
Wait. Well, for Avi, if it's like
Yeah.
soulmates, right? So
Uh-huh.
you, for example, like you break up for a while, and
Uh-huh.
then like a few years later, you meet each other down the line, and then you're happy, you have a family, and you think, oh wow, this is really my soulmate, and then she
Mm.
cheats on you and divorces you. Is that really your soulmate? And you just
And
die
that
single.
means in that sense, the way I would actually convince it myself, okay, this thing was already meant to happen. So it is kind of a challenge in my life. So I have to, get over with. That's kind of how I put it.
So
Mm.
soulmate is a
Yeah, it's a thing of belief, it because you cannot actually. I mean, because you want to talk about belief systems, right? Belief systems are one of the biggest things that wars occurs, in on a national basis, or also on an international basis. So belief systems are just a way that we have created to actually help us continue our life. So if let's say it happens around the way, the coping mechanism would be just it's meant to happen. Let's just move on.
okay. That's fair enough.
It'd
Fair
be like
enough.
that sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be like that. You can't do much.
Okay.
What about you,
What?
Avian? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Like, do
Yeah,
you think
what,
L?
can you repeat the question one more time, please? I'm sorry.
Do you think
Oh,
have you been
LDR,
in?
right?
Okay, you
Yeah.
haven't been in a long distance relationship, but personally, do you think it
Okay,
will
yeah.
work for you?
I think it can work for me, but my bets are probably closer to it probably won't work for me because
Mm,
I'm pretty bad at reading cues from
mm.
text and online. So yeah, probably
Oh, okay, okay,
I won't be able to
understood.
communicate as effectively in person.
So like Edwin, just a little dumb. Like no,
Oh,
because
Wait, what?
Edwin said he doesn't understand whether girl is like hitting on him or not. So it's like
Oh,
that.
like
That's
it's
why
like how do you what is it?
he said
Is it
the
the same
Edwin.
word in Indonesian and Malaysian? Like gapeka.
What is? I
No,
actually don't know.
Peka,
What
Yeah,
peka is like not aware.
pagka for us
oh,
is deaf.
Like for example, right? Like I'm with someone and then let's say I'm like, "Oh, I'm thirsty." Then like a person who is peka would be like, "Oh, here's my water." You know?
Huh?
But
oh,
like
Oh,
yeah,
pagka. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
So
okay,
a
okay,
person
okay.
who's not like aware would have just been like, "Oh, okay, you're thirsty." Like, what do you want me to do about it? You know?
yeah.
Like
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 just
by
if
not
yourself.
Yeji
yeah.
flirts with me through text, I would just reply with lamau and leave it.
Okay, okay. Okay then. Edwin, what do you think?
yes.
Do you think LDR works?
I mean, it depends. I don't think LDR works if like you personally. I don't think it works if you meet someone through LDR. Like just start texting someone
Mm,
from
mm,
like another country or another place. Like you've never seen them face to
Yeah, that
face.
definitely won't work. I agree with that.
Yeah, but
mhm.
yeah, true, right? But if it's like you've met in real life and you've it's been a while, or you really like get to know the person, and then you do LDR, I think that will work.
You know
mm.
what? That makes me think of like another question for everyone. What do you guys like? What are your opinions on like meeting someone online and then like dating them? Like,
Oh.
would you guys do that? And would you well, like if you wouldn't, why not? Like, what are your views?
Meeting someone online, as in not
Tinder,
Tinder.
Yeah, like
not
Tinder or
Tinder,
like
uh,
Instagram, Twitter.
Grinder.
Bumble,
right?
Instagram.
Oh no.
Oh,
Um,
No judging, right?
not judging. Yeah, no
No
judgment here.
judging. It's up to you.
Okay.
I think.
I
Yeah, you want to answer first, Asha?
yeah. I
Right.
think I don't know. I don't have good experience of meeting people online. You can't really expect how that person will be in real life. For me, because when the way they talk to you online and the way they talk to you in real life could be different. Like I like someone who gives their all talking to me in person and also talking to me online.
Mm.
So they could give their all talking to me online, but when in person they're just like quiet. Like that. I can't do that. I have to I personally like to meet people uh by myself, like physically, and then continue the chat online. Because if I meet him physically and I really vibe with him, but then when I text him through WhatsApp or Instagram and he doesn't vibe with me, that's not for me also. Yeah.
I think I have the same opinion as Isha. Like a person can be different online, and a person can be different if you meet him face to face.
Mm.
So like I can text, right? Then if I meet you on like real life, I'm really shy, so I can't really
Yeah,
talk
he's
much.
shy. He's shy.
I'm very shy.
He's very
That
I can
calls him
shy.
out.
I can text a lot, So that's
Yeah.
something to think about. I think like you
Mm.
can be two different personas in real life and online.
Yeah, and for personally, because Avi is my one of my closest friends, he is very
Now,
lively and hype and loud in person, but when you talk to him online, sometimes he's just dead. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true. That's the
yeah, it's
thing. Because
true.
I suck at texting people. I
You
sometimes
do.
can, but I would love to take you out and then talk to you in person, because it could be a good. We're talking about Tinder, right? It could be a good medium to start, but I wouldn't continue into a relationship officially unless I've met you in person and I know what you're like. Because
Mm.
that's kind of how I prefer it, because I'm really bad at texting, to be very honest, but on in person I'm very different.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. I know, Abby. I'm your closest friend. You're the same
Yeah,
height as me, and I'm your closest friend.
lol.
Okay. What was that, Avian? What do you think? Would you
From
would you
Tinder or like
dabble?
dating apps.
Yeah. Would you like? Would you try online dating to get a girlfriend, something like that?
I don't know. At least here in Japan, it's kind of weird. Girls are on like Bumble and stuff like that to like make
Mm,
friends. It's really strange. It's like their bio is also I'm just here to make friends, and it's clearly a
mm,
dating app. Whatever, I digress. But yeah, I don't know. Dating apps in Japan seem to only have like two purpose. It's like you're either that to like to I don't know
Have
do
other
other
intentions.
intentions
have other intentions,
aside,
yeah.
aside from dating or becoming friends. Like those are the two purposes
Mm,
dating apps have
Ah,
in Japan,
yeah,
and I have no problems with that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's nice. Edwin, you have any opinions on that?
Well, the question, finding some other people. What?
No, it's
Tinder,
how
online dating.
do you feel about online dating? Okay.
Oh, I personally wouldn't do online dating, but if I was like single and bored enough, and I'd try it just to have company for lunch or dinner or something like that. But
Oh no.
that's where it goes. There's
So just for fun.
yeah, just for
Mm.
fun.
yeah, exactly. That's the main point. I feel like in a lot of countries, dating apps are mostly just for fun.
Mm.
Uh,
Do, do they use dating apps a lot in Korea, Yeji?
You'd be surprised. Like I said, like the dating scene here is like pretty much like very it's everywhere. You walk 5 minutes, you've probably seen like 10 couples pass you.
yeah.
Like it's so there's way so many like there's too many people dating here, and like dating apps
That's
are pretty much like a lot of people use it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm. All right, understandable. So I think this is like I want to say the very last question. So far Edwin is in a happy relationship and the rest of you are the rest of you are not in relationships but hoping but someday you might hope to be in a happy relationship as well, right? So what do you
sure.
guys
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, maybe, maybe. So actually, what do you guys? You might have noticed some friends of yours that are stuck in like, not desirable relationships, toxic relationships in a way. So what do you guys think? Why do you guys think that people are stuck in those kind of relationships? Mm, Edwin, Why do you think people are stuck in toxic relationships?
I feel like they're stuck in toxic relationship is because they're scared they could never find someone else. Like
Mm,
they're not confident enough to. No, they're too afraid that they'd lose. They never could find someone as good as who are dating right now.
mm,
Because when you're in a relationship, I don't think you think the most rationally. Like you tend to think irrationally most of the time.
speaking from
So
experience.
wow.
Yeah, I
So
think I kind of agree with that statement. Speaking from experience.
yeah, so like since you're thinking irrationally and you two are so toxic, you'd always think, oh, I can work it out with this guy or
Mm,
girl. And if you leave them, you're too scared that you'll never find someone else like
mm,
them, like the good traits they have.
mm.
So I feel like that's why they actually won't do what's better for them.
Right, right. What about you, Avian? What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with Edwin. It's like when you purely think with emotions, it's wow, a bunch of weird decisions can occur.
Mm. All right. Yenji, what do you think?
I agree with Edwin. Like when you're in a relationship, like you tend to be irrational, like as in like you excuse a lot of the things like your partner does just because you like him, or you're aware of them happening, but you're just like, you know what? He's done good things as well. He might do something
Mm,
good again, that kind of thing. And then there's
I
also
agree.
the mindset where it's like I can make him better.
Oh,
Like
Oh
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
There are those relationships as well. But there are also relationships where it's like you can't be the one to break it off. So it
all
just
right,
becomes toxic. You know what I mean? Like
right.
you're dating someone and let's say you fall out of love and it's like hard to break up with someone just because you fell out of love, right?
Yeah.
So then you just end up being the toxic one so they break it off with you.
Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
there's
wow.
like that as
Yeah,
so yeah.
it's really bad. Yeah, Abby?
Oh, I need to know what is a toxic relationship. How bad does a relationship get for it to be toxic?
I guess like unhealthy, like no
Yeah,
one's benefiting from it.
yeah.
Okay.
They lost their purpose, Abby.
Yeah.
They lost their purpose. They're just there for each other because they've only known each other
Oh
for the
yeah,
past few months.
understandable.
Or
I
maybe,
because from observing some of my friends, right?
Observing.
Yeah, it's actually very hard for you to move on from one relationship into another. And generally, okay, there are certain aspects in people's life that people find important. What I can't remember all six of them, but one of them was a sense of security.
mm,
So relationships always provide this particular sense of security. So if let's say if let's say something happens to me, who will be there for me? I mean, deep down as you go on through life, you actually realize that you're only there for yourself and you gotta fix yourself. But we still need that certain
mm,
level of like that assurance that I have someone to lean on. So what happens if they're leaning on this particular person, and
yeah,
then suddenly he's not there or she's not there? So
yeah,
this emotional need suddenly disappears, and it's like when you become over dependent on someone, that becomes a very huge problem. Because
mm,
I kind of came across this video like just before we started recording, where this girl, she had like major anxiety problems, and once she met this guy, her anxiety kind of not exactly vanished, but it kind of, well,
Reduced.
like I would say, suppressed.
Oh,
Suppressed because the guy was treating him right and all that. But when the guy went away, she had to face these problems again, and then it became kind of a toxic relationship with herself and the guy. And yeah, it kind of it became that stuff. So I think one part of it is people don't actually want to start over, and they because
yeah,
once you break up, it's you have to start over again, and then
mm,
you need to regain that self security, because when you're in a relationship, you depend a lot on your significant other. Like anything, I think that would be the first person you would actually call, text, or something and share. So
mm.
if that pillar is gone, who is there to take its place? So that
Yeah,
is
that's right.
kind of a big something that, based on, I would say, based on experience, that's kind of what actually happened. But at the end of the day, if it's toxic, they still let it go. They know it's meant to end. Yeah, it will end.
Mm. All right, that's nice. So actually, like I think we've had uh really different perspectives on certain parts of a relationship. And I think this was a very, very interesting conversation that I think our listeners can benefit from, because we wanted to talk about this topic to introduce to the listeners about different perspectives on relationship who from people who have and have not been in relationships. So I think we've achieved that goal today, I hope. So so thank you so much to our guests Yeji and Avian for joining us today, for having insightful conversations with us.
Thank you.
And that's
Us.
yeah, it's nice. I hope to talk to you guys again soon. Maybe might invite you for future episodes. Maybe. All right. So that's it from us today. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.